It's October 7th, 2016. Bring warnings and watches on space weather, earthquakes, volcanoes, all that. Right now, as we look at the sun, we do got three sunspots. We got AR2598 that can produce C-class solar flare. And later on this week, it's going to go beyond the sun. So the most it can produce is C-class. We got AR259 that could produce X-class solar flare. And it could produce a C-class solar flare, and it's going to gain more in strength as it's in the southern hemisphere of the sun. AR2600 could produce A or B class solar flare. Right now we ain't got nothing to worry, but later on this week it's going to pick up steam and be able to produce a C-class solar flare. When we scroll down, see coronals of the sun, we do see two coronal holes, but the solar winds ain't flowing towards Earth, so we're safe right now for the moment. But the solar winds did stop hitting the Earth and been going on for 8 days since September till August 6, 2016. So the storms can still on Earth get electric, are going to grow on Earth from the solar winds that ended on the 6th all the way up to 24 to 72 hours till Sunday. Storms will increase. So keep an eye on that. Let's move on. Let's move on to Haarp and the earthquakes. I'm putting warnings and watches out here around Washington, Oregon, and Northern California as we see a major Haarp ring that's not for storms but for earthquakes off the coast of Oregon, Washington, and Northern California. Let's watch it. And hold on, it froze up. Let's reload. Give me 1 second, folks. Okay, there you go. You can see the red and green lines coming off the coast. So warnings and watches for a moderate to major earthquake around 6.0 to 7.0 off the coast of Oregon, Washington, Vancouver, Canada, and definitely Northern California. Let's get into this right now with the earthquakes warnings. So we're looking for any 3.0 or above earthquakes or rare places. All right, we had a 3.0 in North America, Mexico, and Baja California. We had a 2.3 earthquake in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean Sea. Rare earthquakes, folks. All right, as we stroll down, we see nothing. 2.6 in Greece, 2.9 in Romania. That's abnormal. But here we go back in the United States. We had a 2.9 in California, 2.6 in California. As we stroll down, a 3.5 in the Dominican Republic. That's strange, and that's a moderate earthquake. 3.5 in Dominican Republic, a 2.8 in Romania. As we stroll down, we had a 2.4 in Turkey, and that's near Romania. A 3.4 in Colombia, 3.0 back in Mexico, 3.0 in Mexico, a 2.3 in Caribbean Sea, a 2.3 in Puerto Rico. We had a 5.1 today in Indonesia. As we stroll down, we had a 3.2 in New Zealand, a 4.6 in Indonesia. We had a 3.2 in New Zealand, 2.9 in Romania, 2.6 in Greece, 2.3 in Greece, 2.2 back around Puerto Rico, 2.9 in California, 2.6 again in California. All right, we had 3.5 again in Dominican Republic, 3.5 in Dominican Republic as we stroll down. We had a 2.0 in Washington, and we see the Haarp ring. This should be pretty big, but it's not highlighted. A 5.0 out in the Pacific Ocean by the French Polynesia. And another 5.0 by the French Polynesia in the Pacific Ocean. That should have been highlighted blue. A 4.2 in Iran. Alright, folks. We had a 3.1 in Chile. As we scroll down, 4.1 in Ecuador. 3.1 in Colombia. As we scroll down, 2.5 in California. 3.1 in Greece, 2.2 in Hawaii, that's from volcanoes, so warnings and watches for continuous volcano activity in Hawaii. 3.6 in Chile, a 5.0 in Papua New Guinea, that should have been highlighted, a 4.8 in Papua New Guinea, a 4.8 in Papua New Guinea. So from just looking at this, I'm putting warnings and watches for the Caribbean for moderate to major earthquake, warnings and watches for moderate to major earthquake in Papua New Guinea, warnings and watches for moderate to major earthquakes in Chile, warnings and watches for a major earthquake on the west coast of the United States of America and Vancouver off in the Pacific Ocean, warnings and watches for volcano activities in Hawaii. Warnings and watches for moderate earthquakes around Greece and Romania. Now let's look at the energized for the map. As we can see, I'm putting warnings and watches in Venezuela, Brazil, Chile, basically all South America for moderate to major earthquake. Warnings and watches on the east coast of Africa. And this is where you can get into detail. Alright, folks. So, warnings and watches for moderate to major earthquake for the Caribbean. Warnings and watches for moderate to major earthquake in Mexico. Warnings and watches for moderate to major earthquake in Colombia, Venezuela, Chile, Brazil, Peru. Alright, folks. I want everyone out there, be prepared. This is no joke. When we look over here, I'm going to put warnings and watches on the east coast of Africa, all the way up to the northern part to Central Africa. Warnings and watches for the Indian Ocean in the middle for moderate to major earthquake around India. Alright, folks. Indonesia. Alright, folks. I want everyone out there, be prepared. Warnings and watches around Taiwan and Japan for moderate to major earthquake. And same around Hawaii, but I'm putting warnings and watches around Hawaii for volcano activity in the Central Pacific. And definitely, I want everyone out there to be prepared for a moderate to major earthquake around Vancouver, Wyoming, Washington, as we see around Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and Vancouver, those major Haarp rings from Intelcast. So I want everyone out there to be prepared, folks. All right. Now, today, even though it's 3.5 lunar distance away from Earth, but an asteroid on target to become very close by Earth today, so keep a track on it. The asteroid's name is 2016 SR2. And I've been looking up trying to find that asteroid on the Soihoi, but Soihoi been down, and I'm still putting warnings and watches till October the 10th for a major asteroid to hit Earth. So I want everyone out there to be prepared for this thing. As they've been talking, and I'm going to find articles and come back tomorrow and Sunday, or on Sunday, do some more videos on this asteroid. So I want everyone out there to be prepared. Please hit the like button. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, on Instagram. This is the No Face Movement. Movement to next time, facing off. And then if you live in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, be prepared for major floods and be prepared for Hurricane Matthew. If you live right now in Georgia, till tomorrow afternoon, in South Carolina, folks, starting tomorrow in the morning, a.m., and North Carolina all the way up to Sunday. I'm going to come back with the future for that, but definitely be prepared for major flood. This is the movement. Till next time, facing off.